Hey, this is Nuno Bettencourt here from Extreme and Generation X once in a while. Here at the Music Zoo, the famous Music Zoo, who've been selling N4s and my guitars for many, many years, and thank him from that, of course. I'm actually sitting here today with, I believe this is the Relic N4, but just to tell you a little bit about, man, this is almost, what, 30 years of this, and I've always been using the same guitar for a reason, and simple reasons, I guess, but it's always been kind of like my workhorse, you know, the one that always, that old baseball glove that you pick up, that you touch, that just plays for you every time the way you want it to be played. And it's interesting, being on a tour with guys like Steve Vai and Tosin Abasi and Yngwie, they've all played my guitar, which is really cool. We've all tried each other's guitars, and I think they think mine's their favorite, so I think I'm going to say that now anyway, since nobody's here to say otherwise, but they all dig the guitar as well. And you know, this guitar came out of being a tad poor, actually. When I was much younger, I'd go into music stores and I couldn't afford playing some of the high-end guitars. I mean, I'd play them in the stores, but I couldn't afford to buy them. So I bought a bunch of parts back in the day, and I took it to a friend of mine who had a guitar shop. And I had him cut the body down for my size. I liked it a bit smaller. Had him do the neck the way I wanted. And at the time, and I think it was the biggest blessing, was the only pickup they had in stock at the time was a Bill Lawrence. And I thought, oh man, I don't know if I felt kind of bummed, like a little bit of that, the stepchild there, thinking about it, that it was a Blade and it wasn't like a classic pickup. And ever since I was able to afford another pickup, even when I had Washburn make this model for me, I tried every other pickup I could that they wanted to give me, and nothing sounded like this pickup on this guitar to me. It still doesn't. As a matter of fact, when I asked them to put it on the model, they said they couldn't because Bill Lawrence had gone out of business. And I said, well, why don't we put him back in business? And they said, I don't know if we can do that. So they called Bill Lawrence. And the rest is history, man. He reopened his doors, making these pickups for me and for the guitars, and been making them ever since. And I can't play any other pickup, to be honest with you. So that's part of the N4 experience for me. And one of the other biggest thing, I think, at the time was the Stevens cutaway. If you look here in the back, as opposed to where all the bolts are traditionally on a guitar, it always made it very difficult to go up and play the higher stuff. And this cutaway, this shark fin here, made it possible for your thumb to go back and to get back in here. And you know, I forget that this is only on the N4s. You know, as I forget how incredible it is to be able to get your thumb back there and to play all the stuff that I do play. So I mean, besides that, I moved the toggle switch down here for a reason, because tone controls and switches were always getting in the way for me, because I strum a lot. You know, I play really hard a lot. So I wanted to put it somewhere where, in stride, if I'm playing a solo, if I'm playing a chord, I can just play in stride up here, and nobody would even notice that I'm changing pickups. Besides that, out of the drop, you know, the EVH, the drop here, you know, the drop D, so I can on the fly as well, or during songs I can pop it down. I think it's probably one of the few that I've tried that I love. And man, no tone control. I think that's about it. For you guys who like Jeff Beck, that's probably a bummer. There's no tone control. But who needs it? Do it with your fingers. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing here other than it's a Floyd, obviously. On some of my guitars, I got it floating. On some of them, I block it, depending on how I'm feeling. And I think that's it, man. You know, the greatest thing I can say about this guitar, and the most honest thing I can say about this guitar, is that I told Washburn that I want to be able to walk into a place like the Music Zoo. If, say, the truck disappeared and all my guitars got stolen, the idea is to be able to walk into the Music Zoo and grab a guitar off the stand and be able to go straight back to the gig and play it as if it's one of my own. And other than setting up a bit of the action, it should play exactly like mine. I've always frowned upon, you know, guitarists that I know, that I won't mention any names, who have models, and they say, what, are you kidding me? That's not really the actual one that's in the store. And it bothers me because it says it's a signature. So for me, I said it's got to play like that. It's got to play like my signature. And, you know, the The greatest thing I can say about this guitar is that there was a block of about 4 years where I can actually honestly say that I was no longer an endorsee of Washburn. There was a period there that I stopped. The good news is I still kept playing the guitar. So I don't play it because, you know, I didn't go to Washburn to be an endorsee. You know, they came to me, and I ended up making my model. And regardless if I was with them or not, which I'm glad I am, it's been many years, it's been decades, I'd still play the same guitar. I mean, I don't know if many people can say that about their signature models, that they'd play it regardless if that name was on there or not. So that says a lot about how I feel about this guitar. Well, thanks for hanging out with me for a bit. I hope you dig the N4 if you play it. And if you definitely want to buy one and pick one up, go to themusiczoo.com. I'll be there. See ya.